Hello everyone, welcome back to the Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video where I am going to give you the 5 reasons plus a bonus why I chose to switch to the Basemap app for my scouting and hunting app this coming hunting season. Okay, so before we get into the 5 reasons why I switched to Basemap, I do need to give you a quick disclaimer/disclosure, and that's this. Basemap is not paying me to make this video, and they are not paying me or telling me what to say in this video. However, I do have a relationship with Basemap. I've been in communication with them quite a bit, and they've actually given me the pro version of the app to use for this hunting season. To be perfectly clear, I actually had switched to Basemap before I got the free version from them, and I was the one who reached out to them because of how impressed I was with some of the features of their app. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the 5 reasons plus a bonus why I chose to switch to Basemap. All right, so let me give you the first reason why I chose to switch to Basemap, and these are not in any particular order, but the first one is because of the price. If you probably already know, my YouTube channel is called The Budget Sportsman, and I am all about getting the most out of the sport of hunting, but doing it on the least amount of money that I can, and Basemap is very reasonably priced. I don't mean to bash any other companies or any other apps because there's so many good ones, but I'm going to do some comparing throughout this video. And in this section, I do want to compare to onX. onX offers their subscription for a year for one singular state for $30. If you want 50 states, it is actually $100 per year. Of course, there are discounts and sales throughout the year, but that's the regular going price. Now, Basemap actually offers all 50 states for $30. So it's the same price for 50 states as you would pay for one state on onX. Now, again, if you're a one-state hunter and you don't travel, you don't do anything like that, it may not be an issue to you. I just prefer to be able to have all of that at my disposal in case I ever need it. There are times that I've been out on vacation or doing something totally unrelated to hunting where I wanted to pull up my scouting app and maybe look for trails or creeks or public land to go hiking. And it's just really nice to be able to have all 50 states for that one low price of $30 per year. I will mention a little bit later, Basemap also offers a hunt research package, which is an additional $10 a year, but you still get all of that for $40 a year, much less than onX. So I love paying less to get more. Okay, so what's reason number 2 why I chose to switch to Basemap? It's because Basemap has a super clean, super easy to use, super user-friendly interface, and I love it. Again, not bashing any other apps, but I was a HuntStand user for a long time, and HuntStand is packed with features, has a lot of features, but I got frustrated sometimes trying to figure it out and trying to navigate it, and I just didn't feel like it was really laid out as well as what it could have been. And when I tried Basemap, I was really impressed with how clean the interface is and how easy to use it is. I'm not going to walk you through everything of the app, but let me just show you a couple of the features and sort of the basic layout of the app. Okay, so here's a quick look at the app. I've got this open to some public land that's far away from where I hunt, so hopefully I'm not ruining anybody else's hunting spot. But really quickly here, you can zoom in and out just like you would expect with 2-finger pinch. But the thing that a lot of you are going to want to know is about the layers. Right down here, the bottom right-hand corner, there is a layer button. I can tap on that. My favorite thing here is that I can actually add layers to my favorites and I can quickly access them. But if they're not in my favorites, there is a whole host of layers over here. That's just one little section. I can open land, water, roads, trails. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's a lot of great layers, easy to get to. And again, you can see what your active layers are. I don't have any active right now, and you can see your favorites all very easily. Again, if you want to get into weather, super easy. The icon in the top left-hand corner, you can get to all kind of quick glance of information: sunrise, sunset, barometric pressure, moon phase, wind speed, current temperature, all that kind of stuff is right there. And then if you want more detailed information, you can tap on any one of those icons to get more detailed information about the weather forecast, moon forecast. One of the things that's awesome is you can actually go into the calendar and you can actually go quite a ways in advance looking at the moon forecast if you're trying to maybe plan an out-of-state hunt or something like that. A lot of great stuff there. And then of course we can close that out. If we actually want to add a waypoint to the map, there's this plus icon down here, and that's where we can draw a line, draw a circle, draw a shape. We can add a stand marker. We can add just a regular waypoint marker. Let me do that really quickly here. Once I go to the waypoint marker, it puts that marker right there. I can just tap my icon in the bottom right-hand corner. But they have them categorized here, so you don't have to scroll through a ton of stuff that you don't care about. If you want to go down to hunting, it's just going to be just the hunting-related icons, and you can skip out on all the other ones. Or if you just want a particular animal, you can go to that under wildlife. There's all kinds of stuff here, but it's laid out really nicely. I'm really happy with that. Let's cancel that. One other thing I want to point out, it does give you up in the top left-hand corner, hopefully you can see this, but it does give you your current elevation, which I think is really cool right there. It also shows your GPS signal in the upper right-hand corner, so you actually know what your signal is and whether you actually should trust the map that you're currently looking at. So again, this isn't a tutorial about the app. I just wanted to give you a quick glance at the clean interface that Basemap has to offer. Okay, so reason number 3 why I switched to Basemap is because of the superb satellite imagery and the superb layers that are included with Basemap. Let's take another quick look. One of the things that I love here is that the main satellite imagery that I use in this app is from Google. It's high resolution satellite imagery, and when you zoom in, you get some pretty good detail here, and it depends kind of on where you are, but I've been in some places that give you absolutely insane amount of detail when you zoom all the way in. Really, really impressive. But on top of that, you can go down here to your layers, bottom right, and you can see this section right here is really what it is. It's kind of your base layer. And so Basemap actually includes a 3D modeled imagery here for your satellite imagery. That's not something I use a whole lot here in Pennsylvania, but I can see that if you're a Western hunter, that would be incredible. And there's some other companies that have been coming out with that recently. Basemap has had that for a while. They also have a 3D topo version of that. Then again, here's the Google High Res. There's some different fishing and water-based layers here you can start with. And these are your basic layers, your kind of foundational layer you're gonna work with. Then you can come down into these other categories like land, and there's all kind of layers you can build on top of that base layer, such as land ownership layers, government land layers that would add a colored layer over anything that's a public land. You can see all this stuff here, wilderness areas, there's a ton of stuff. I don't need to read it all to you, but there are a lot. And then there's water layers, there's roads and trails, there's points of interest, wildfires and timber cuts and hunting. And without going through too much to bore you, there are a ton of great layers in here that are absolutely incredible. And again, they're easy to get to, they're easy to favorite, they're easy to use. And like I said, the satellite imagery is phenomenal. I think you'll like it if you give it a try. All right. For tip number 4 here, or reason number 4, we got to go into the house, into my office, and get on the computer and look at the actual online interface of Basemap to show you what I really love for reason number 4. All right, so I'm back inside and I'm ready to show you reason number 4 why I switched to Basemap. Now, the reason I'm inside for this one is because this is a feature that's available only on the desktop version, which would be online, as opposed to the mobile app. Now, before I go any further, if you're curious how I went from short sleeves to a sweatshirt, it's because I'm recording this segment of this video about 2 months after I recorded the rest of the video because, well, I just didn't get it done. Now, reason number 4 that I switched, and this is one that honestly really impressed me, and one of the probably the main reasons why I switched to Basemap, is because of the Hunt Research Package that I already mentioned earlier. Now, what is the Hunt Research Package? Well, it's a package that gives you a ton of information about hunting units. It has harvest data. It will give you all kinds of season dates. It will give you a particular species range for certain states. There's all kind of amazing stuff. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this $10 add-on is necessarily going to be exactly like Go Hunt, which is, I think, $150 per year subscription. But it's that idea. If you're familiar with Go Hunt and the research that you can do in there for out-of-state hunts especially, it is that kind of information, though maybe not as extensive. So let's jump over here and let's take a look. And let's just say, for instance, that we were going to want to plan an out-of-state hunt. You know, I'm from Pennsylvania. One of my dreams would be to go out west and hunt elk. Let's just say that we were going to go and plan an elk hunting trip in Colorado. I would come over here to my left where it says layers. And down at the bottom of these different layer sections, you're going to see hunting. I can click on that, open it up, and then I'll choose my state. Again, I'm going to choose Colorado. And then I've got a couple of different sections here. Now, under land, it's going to give you some access properties. I'm not particularly familiar with Colorado's system here, but I would guess that if that's anything like here in Pennsylvania, that'd be private land that allows public access. So that's under land, but then the one that I really appreciate is species. Now, there's a lot of different species in here. I've already actually clicked on Rocky Mountain elk. You can select whitetail, mule deer, bear, all kind of things, whatever you could hunt in that state probably. And again, we're going to be planning an elk hunt in this scenario. Now, there's a ton of different layers here that you get under the Rocky Mountain elk. You can select the elk overall range, and that'll just show you where in the state are elk actually located. You can select summer range, You can select one that I think is really interesting, the summer concentration area, not just the range, not where could you find them, but where are you likely to find them more concentrated. I think that's really cool. You can do the same thing for winter range, winter concentration areas, but then they also have these cool layers for migration. And I'm probably zoomed out a little bit too much here for you to get a really good look at it, but there you can see different migration corridors and areas that would likely have high population of outgoing migration, as well as these different migration patterns. I think this is super, super cool. One of the other things that I really love, probably the main thing I love, is if you come to this top one here, it has the Colorado elk units, seasons dates, and research data. Select that. It will take a little bit to load. And now you can see that it's loaded the units for almost the entire state. I think it's still loading a little bit here, but it's sufficient for our purposes. Now, one of the coolest things about this unit data is that it actually has these filters up here. So let's imagine that I want to go for an archery hunt, archery only, and I want to have an either sex tag, and Colorado has a mix of over-the-counter tags and draw units, but I want an over-the-counter tag. I'm going to select all of that. It's going to take a minute to load up here. All right, there it is, all loaded up. Now, what you're going to be able to notice here is there's a ton of units that are over the counter. But what you can tell is that it's taken out a lot of these units down here through the White River National Forest, Gunnison National Forest, the San Juan National Forest. It's taken out a lot of those units where actually over the counter is not available. So it helps me to narrow down where I want to hunt. Now, let's imagine that I want to hunt somewhere like, let's go up here in unit number 14. Let's just select that for some random purpose here. One of the things you can see here is how much private land and how much state land is available. In that particular unit, there's 14% private, but 85% is United States Forest Service. So that's really great. Right here, I can see that for 2020, the over-the-counter archery elk, either sex tag, is from September 2nd to September 30th. So that helps me plan my hunt as well. I can flip over to harvest data here, and you can see that for archery only and for bulls, there's a 7% success rate. You can see the number of hunters in that unit. There's all kind of stuff you can see. Now, I've already rambled on long enough for this point number 4, but let me just say, I think especially if you're planning any kind of out-of-state hunts, this $10 add-on is well worth the investment. Okay, so reason number 5 why I chose to switch to Basemap is because they are constantly improving and releasing awesome new updates to the app. Just last week, they released a new update that has a feature in it that I am super excited, beyond excited to have, and that is a wind direction indicator that you can place right on the map and see the direction your scent will be blowing based upon the forecasted wind for that particular stand location. Now, to be fair, they're not the first ones to do this. HuntStand actually had this in the past, and I really like that feature. But like I said, there's some other things about HuntStand that I wasn't satisfied with. So when I made the switch to Basemap, I did miss that feature. So the fact that they've now brought that out and incorporated that into this version of Basemap is super, super exciting to me. This really isn't necessary for this video to just tell you that they're incorporating new features, but I want to show you this feature because I'm so excited about it. So let's take a look at the map. Okay, so in order to place this wind cone indicator, you have to hit the plus button and hit Hunt Wind. Now, I can place it. Imagine I'm hunting just the very corner of this field, just a random scenario here. Hit place the wind cone indicator, it loads wind data, and now here's what you can see. You can see the exact direction that your scent's going to be blowing based upon that forecasted wind. Now, one of the really awesome things about this is you can see the slider down here at the bottom where it says now. You can actually slide this across to see that wind direction for the next 24 hours. Super awesome. And I love to do this when I'm planning the hunt for tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, and I'm trying to figure out where am I going to go, what stand am I going to sit in, what spot am I going to go hang my saddle, whatever it is. This is a feature that I love, and one of the reasons why I chose to use Basemap because they're constantly adding great improvements like this one. Okay, so those are 5 of the primary reasons why I switched to Basemap and why I enjoy using it so much. And now let's get to the bonus. Now, the bonus isn't really a reason why I switched, but it's a cool feature that I enjoy playing around with on the Basemap app. If you get on the Basemap mobile app on your phone, not on the web browser, go to the bottom right-hand corner and you will see a little button called Gear Drop. Now, what Gear Drop is a weekly giveaway that Basemap does for the users of the app. and sometimes it's some pretty high value gear. And what they'll do is they'll give you a couple of hints, and they'll tell you maybe the gear is located and it's hidden near a certain creek or a certain trail crossing. Sometimes it will be kind of disguised as a hint. You kind of got to figure it out. Sometimes you need to use the features of the app. They'll tell you maybe stay on public land, and so you got to turn on the public land layers to try to figure it out. Sometimes they'll tell you that's near a certain trail or an intersection. So then what you do is you have a certain number of guesses, and you can drop a pin where you think that gear is located. If you're the closest, you win. Now, have I ever won anything? I have not, but sometimes they've given away some pretty fancy gear that I would have really liked to have won. And it's really fun just to go in and play the game, to kind of learn how to use the app, to figure out how it all works. And the cool thing is it'll tell you how close you are in relation to other people who are playing. So it's really cool to just drop a pin and see whether or not you're in that top percentile of people playing the game. So just a bonus, a fun little game that's included within the app that I think a lot of you would enjoy playing as well. All right, there it is. Those are some of the reasons why I switched to Basemap. And if I've convinced you to at least give it a try, there'll be a link down in the description that will take you right over to download your version of Basemap. And you can start with the free version or go right ahead and start with that pro version that has all the features that I think you're gonna love. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the video and the Basemap app down in the comments below. And until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.